Here's a question that's been coming up quite a bit recently for some people who are a little bit further in the process. My supplier won't send a sample with finalized custom packaging. What should I do? I'm a huge fan of custom packaging. So like this, like even if you're going to do like a poly bag, like our logo's printed onto the bag, that pretty much just makes it custom packaging, just doing that. I'm a huge fan of that, just for the customer experience, just for giving your brand that little elevated boost. It doesn't really cost a lot extra to do that, but I think it makes a big difference long term in your brand. Our supplier had no issues doing this. So when I said, hey, we want custom packaging, we want it to look like this, can you send me a sample? They sent us a sample exactly like this. Insert card, everything, barcode, sticker, product, everything was custom. They had no issues doing that. So when I hear people say my supplier won't do a sample of custom packaging, it really does mean that they won't do it, not that they can't do it. So if your supplier says we can't do a sample of custom packaging, I do not believe that. It's more they don't want to. They're not willing to shut down their supply line, their manufacturing floor. They're not willing to shut it down for a couple hours to print you one bag, which I understand. Like, it makes sense. They don't have trust in you. They have never done business with you. So it's not worth their time and risk to do that. So a couple things, you can either, try to negotiate a little bit better to get that custom sample. So play big fish, do all the things that we talk about to, really negotiate and convey your value to see if they'll do that for you. But at the end of the day, like, even after negotiations, sometimes it's just like, no, they're not going to do it, but they are the best supplier. So this happens all the time with other students of mine. It's the best supplier. They've already gotten a physical sample, but they won't do a sample with custom packaging. What should you do at that point? In that situation, for me, I think the product is a lot more important than the packaging. And so if some little minor detail on the custom side of the packaging is off, it's not going to be the end of the world. So for example, let's talk about my product. Let's pretend these people would not send me a custom packaging with this printed on the bag. They said, if you want Remunu printed on the bag, you got to order 10,000 of them, 10,000 bags. Okay, I can do that because 10,000 bags and they're selling them for like 5 cents. It's like, okay, that's what, like $500. So that's not a huge deal to me. I can do that. What I would do though is I would say, okay, just send me the sample with the bag. You don't got to print Remunu on it. Just send me a sample with the bag. So now I get it in hand. At least I know that the bag itself or the box, whatever your product is, at least I know that it's good quality bag. I like the bag. It's a nice quality. The only thing that's missing is the logo. Now, when I go to place my order, my initial order, I explain to them, I want the custom packaging like we talked about. Here's my artwork. You send them very good, detailed, specific, down to the measurement of the logo and the bag. Pretend you're like an engineer. Draw it out in Photoshop with the lines and the numbers and the dimensions, very specific details, so that it's really hard for them to mess it up. Like, just be as detailed as possible. It'll be hard for them to screw it up. And then what you do is when you place your initial order, you do what we say. You pay 30% up front, 70% upon completion. So you'll pay 30% of your order. They'll make the custom packaging. They'll put it all together and they'll have a bajillion of them sitting there at their factory. Then you say, send me photos. I want lots of photos. I want photos of the front, photos of the back. I want photos of all of them sitting on your table. I want photos of them in your cardboard boxes. I want as many photos as you can get me. Then you do a photo check. If they send a photo and it looks like this, for this type of custom packaging, I'm like, looks great. Send away. If your custom packaging is a little bit fancier and you really, really want to be like, okay, the photos look good, but I'm really still nervous about whatever quality, have them airship one of them to you. Remember, you've only paid 30% of the order. So if it's a $1,000 order, you've only spent $300. So if worse comes to worse, you're only out $300 if something needs to be fixed or changed or anything. Have them airship one of them. It'll come to your house in 5 days, and then you check it in person. You'll be like, this looks great. Send the rest of them. Or if you're like, this is not what I sent you, explain to you, then you need to make changes and you've only paid 30%. So you haven't paid him any more money. So at that point, you can like kind of negotiate and work through what changes need to be made.